Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
This morning to fill us in on what could be some major problems. Sam?
Thanks, Andy. And a lively pundit panel today with Ray Brick and Ray Hagar and Chris Barrett is all coming up next on the all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in by Charter Communication.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Catch a straight, dine at 8. Lucky you. Lucky you. Dance till 1. Have some fun. Lucky you. Lucky you. Taste the shrimp. Have a sip. Try the pool. At the Sienna Hotel Spa Casino. Lucky you.
Biggest risk your company can take.
Well, Barbara, you did very well on your interview.
Hiring employees can help your business get to the next level.
And your resume looks outstanding.
And it can also expose you to corporate crimes and costly lawsuits that can bring your company to its knees.
So, we'd like to offer you a position.
Before you hire another employee, hire the professionals at Employer Links. Call today to get our free CD-ROM, the top 8 risk of hiring employees.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years. Call 882-1700 to see what we can do for your organization.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad, political analyst Ande Engleman on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the News 4 Broadcast Center, here's Sam Shad.
Things may be quiet in Carson City, but in the parties, maybe a different story. We're joined today by State Senator Mark Amodei. Welcome to the program. Pleasure to have you back.
Mark, thank you for being here.
Thanks, Andy.
Okay, we've heard that in the Republican Party, we know that some of the senators, 3 of the senators led by Senator Ann O'Connell, held their own fundraisers separate from the rest of the Republicans. Are the Republicans in the Senate split?
I don't think 3 out of 12 or 13 represents a split. I think that they are focused on trying to raise money under the auspices of more than one entity, which is the caucus PAC. That had been talked about for several years, and you've got a group of folks that finally decided to execute that.
Okay, explain for the public in simple terms what this means.
Well, what it means is you are, under the law, allowed to give a maximum donation per election cycle to a candidate in a legislative context of $10,000. Right now, the Republican Senate Caucus has one entity that does that, which is the Republican Senate Caucus PAC, Political Action Committee. We've always just had one. When we look at the reports on file that are public record in the Secretary of State's office, we see our opponents have multiple PACs to do that to support their candidates. Nothing wrong with that. It's just that we've kind of always just held to one, and it's like this gives you more options to raise funds and support people you think ought to be in office.
So you could make multiple donations of $10,000 because you can do them from the different PACs.
Correct.
All right, but what happens when you get a race like Bob Beers, who's a Republican assemblyman, is challenging Senator Ray Rawson? What does you're smiling. What does the PAC do when one of their own is being challenged by more or less one of their own?
Well, I would assume, I'm just one member of the present 13, that the Republican Senate Caucus will support Senator Rawson as a sitting incumbent, a present member of the caucus. What the folks in the Nevada Business Legislative PAC, I think, which is what Ann has named hers, who they donate to, I think will be a function of whoever's on the papers that are on file for that PAC.
All right, but these three women that started that PAC, which is Sandra Tiffany, Barbara Sagaski, and Senator Ann O'Connell, were opposed to any tax hikes whatsoever in the last session of the legislature, as was Bob Beers, supposedly. And so there's sort of a kinship there.
Well, I don't think it's accurate to say they were opposed to any tax hikes.
Well, that's true.
You know, it was all a degree.
Tax cuts.
But it's interesting because there's a big impression out there that this group of people who were like not another thin dime. The issue really is how big was the record increase going to be? But yes, they were in favor of smaller than what was actually done in a budget sense. So yeah, I think there is some similarity there.
And what about the Democratic Party?
You know, my friend Mike Snyder, who I talked to at the Joint League of Cities Association of Counties thing up in Elko, seems to be getting along with his minority leader, Senator Titus, about status quo as usual. So they're they're having as much fun, I think, as some of the Republicans are. It's kind of a tumultuous time.
Okay, when you look at what happened just now in California with the recall, and the fact that you know, somebody without any experience in government whatsoever is now the governor of California. What does this say to you about the way the public now is viewing candidates and incumbents?
I think the message is pretty clear, Sam, and I think it's unmistakable. People want to feel like they make a difference. People want to feel like they're heard, and they want to feel like that their government is responsive to them. And clearly, they did not feel like that about the governor's office in California, which brought you the result that you just described.
What about here in Nevada?
You know, we talk about a tumultuous time. Clearly, people mattered in Nevada. I mean, there was blood all over the floor on those issues. And whether you were a business person, an education person, a gaming person, all of those sorts of things, those messages were being heard and acted upon. Now, I would say that because that was so effective in terms of people feeling as strongly as they did, based upon that information they were getting, that you've got quite the opposite here. I mean, the whole state was wrapped up in that. They weren't all on the same side. Certainly it wasn't smooth surface of the water, but it was phenomenal amount of people going out, getting where they wanted to be on an issue, and then fighting like heck for what they believed in.
I want to get this question in here. There's a number of investigations going on around the state. Gallardi down in southern Nevada, and of course there's another one with Wendell Williams. Have you been interviewed by the FBI?
Yes, I have.
Can you say about what?
I was asked questions that related to lobbying practices during the 2003 legislative session, what I may have knowledge of in terms of what happened on the north side of the building and who potential witnesses might be for some of those things.
Can you elaborate further?
Probably not.
Are you able to talk about were there industries involved in the question?
You know, I'm not sure it was, you know, as a former U.S. attorney, all I'm going to say, I'll say I was interviewed. It was about lobbying practices. It was about a 40-minute visit. I was appreciative of the fact that they called and made an appointment, which made me think they weren't coming to get me. They usually don't make appointments when they do that. And beyond that, I would defer to whoever the public relations folks are for the Bureau.
They don't have one.
They have a no comment on
right.
that. From the questions that were asked of you, does that lead you to believe that there will be more investigations continuing?
You know, since you asked me, I'll just tell you my impression. I think it is a healthy thing to have a law enforcement agency that is not affiliated with state government in the state just asking some questions. That doesn't mean that anything's wrong. It doesn't mean anybody's broken the law, but it means that they're doing their job and watching, and I think that provides a view that is more objective and not tied into, you know, Nevada's still a relatively small state, so I think it's healthy for the process to have investigative folks just asking some questions.
The federal government has not always looked kindly upon Nevada's legislators.
Well, you know, as a former prosecutor, I'll just say, you know, we have a process that I think works, and the fact that there's an investigation doesn't mean anything in and of itself, depending on where that leads to. I think that the Bureau's reputation, by and large, as an investigative agency is excellent.
And we'll leave it right there, but there'll be more. We'll be back on Nevada Newsmakers after this timeout.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Terry.
And this is Dan's Pizza and Parlor. Everything we make here is from scratch. Our fresh cut fries, homemade hamburgers made to order, fresh pizza dough made with 3 types of flour, and Terry's secret pizza sauce, and Dreyer's world-famous ice cream. And if you have a sports team, your kids can really have a great time here. Oh! Dan's Pizza and Parlor on Victorian Avenue, just down the street from Great Basin Brewery next to Pyramid Highway.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at DeAndrea is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South DeAndrea Parkway in Sparks.
Welcome to Sushi Club, best sushi in town. The Sushi Club in Independence Square uses the best quality products. The sushi is dynamite, and the service is just wonderful.
The Sushi Club is bigger and better. We have 11 sushi chefs on staff, and the service is great.
All your friends will tell you that Sushi Club is the best place for the best sushi.
Come join us for lunch or dinner.
The Sushi Club, 294 East Moana Lane in the Independence Square.
Now that's great sushi.
To experience the royal cuisine of India, you need some serious magic or simply transport yourself to India Garden, right here in Reno, where you'll discover Indian specialties refined over centuries. Sikh kebab, tandoori dishes cooked in our own tandoor oven, biryani specialties, curries, fresh-baked Indian bread, over a dozen vegetarian dishes, even dishes rare to India like dosa, South Indian-style crepes. India Garden off South Virginia near Sports West. We are India.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
Have you ever noticed how sometimes bills are named one thing and they mean the exact opposite? We have a national bill called No Child Left Behind. Scott Craigie is here to talk about it. Does it really mean that?
Well, actually, when the feds talk about no child being left behind, they really do mean it. What they're looking to do is refocus the attention of the education community on those children who are at the low end of the spectrum, who are not keeping up with the grade level growth. The problem that it creates, though, is that it's going to be extremely expensive. It is, frankly, it's an overreaching plan. It's one that's somewhat naive in its approach. It's so bold that people are concerned it can't be done, which actually probably means it's a plan that's got an opportunity to actually create change. And the focus, again, is look at those children who are not being reached adequately and bring them up to grade level.
We had Senator Ensign on the program at the beginning of this week, and I asked him about the money involved, and he said that he's going to bring quite a bit of federal funding to Nevada to help pay for this No Child Left Behind.
Well, I know that Senator Ensign and actually Senator Reed both have supported funding, but the problem is when the president set the goals for this, and the goals are to improve teaching by requiring the teachers be fully qualified to teach the classes that they're in, to increase testing, and to show gains in achievement. They welched, after doing all that, on the payments, and they didn't deliver the money that it's going to cost. We, in this state, just this last legislative session, during the 3-session legislature, had to appropriate $150 million for Clark County just for the phase-in first 2 years. The money's not there. The goals are there. The requirements are there. We've already identified 271 schools in the state that are on a watch list because they're afraid that they may fail, and the money's not coming. And that's what creates the controversy.
Okay, well, does this open up on a national level a platform for Democrats to say that, you know, we need to elect our candidate because we will put money into No Child Left Behind? And does that then become an issue?
You know, that's the concern that I have, is that the controversies that we saw, this reopens the controversies that we saw in the last legislative session. Public television, public education, which is K-12, is one of only $2 billion babies in the Nevada budget. Public education and Medicaid, their appropriations in the state budget are 10 digits long. And in a $4.5 billion budget, they eat up the lion's share. And all of these controversies are going to rekindle. And the problem with No Child Left Behind is that we've got to deal, obviously, with a population of 53,000 students who do not speak adequate English. We have to deal with a lot of children that have a genuine learning disability, and they're required not only to increase by a full year each year in growth, they have to get up to their grade level which means they have to do an increment beyond 1 year. The expectations are so huge that if you interject the legislature and politics into it, if we don't leave educators who are in charge and accountable to deal with the issue, and we mix in all of these external groups, it won't have a chance to catch hold.
Scott, what is the worst case scenario?
The worst case scenario is, well, what's going to happen regardless of how this plays out?
But I want to know what's the worst thing that can happen.
There are going to be a huge number of schools that are going to be found as needing improvement, which the media has already reported as failure.
Okay.
There will be a large number the first year and more the second and even more the third. That's going to happen because you cannot change the system this much.
Okay, so
the worst thing that happens is the state gives up on it. And then we have a controversy that creates just what Sam begged with his question, a civil war inside the political institutions trying to make hay out of what's going on in schools.
But here, okay, go ahead.
Well, no, I just don't.
Exasperation.
I really don't. All right, so you label a school as not being terrific, but your child's getting all A's and is doing well. Why should you care?
Actually, for the for the parents of the child who's getting A's, they probably won't. For those children who are not succeeding, who are literally trying to learn biology and mathematics and learn how to read in French or German for them, it's a disaster. Just think of the pressure those kids with learning disabilities are going to be under. And for us to make that a controversy in their life at their home as well as a difficulty at their school, to put that kind of pressure on parents will actually make this a detriment to many children rather than a positive. This can be a very positive program. Teachers will get better education themselves. Many of the teachers I've talked to, and I work on the Academic Standards Committee, and I taught school for 10 years, came out of the education community, as you know, are looking forward to this. That's a challenge that's almost unmeetable.
Let me throw a
but
really
they
quick,
want to do it.
Let me throw a really quick one at you.
Yes.
You know, we raised we're trying to get $87 billion to rebuild Iraq and Afghanistan.
Right.
And we say that it isn't a big problem in a $1 trillion economy. So does this not become a situation where we can look and say, well, if that's not a problem, maybe we can take, you know, $20 billion and put it towards education in this country?
Where there's incompetence here is if a federal administration is going to require these changes, and that's good, they want to say, then they better, by gosh, pay their share of the cost.
And that's where we got to leave it.
They have ruined this program in the early stages.
In the early stages, but there's a chance for them to make it up. And I think it's a democratic platform, perhaps. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers with the Pundits after this.
Before you head to Carson, take care of yourself with a visit to Tamarack Junction. Catch a hot cup of coffee and the morning news on one of our 32 TVs and enjoy the best food in South Reno. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amodei Ranch Parkway.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Today's lesson, another reason to take the Gold Rush Club Card Challenge. With the Gold Rush Card, you really have 3 cards in one. Use your cash back. You still keep your comps and drawing tickets. Use your comps. You still keep your cash and drawing tickets. And with your drawing tickets, you could win thousands in cold hard cash every week. And still keep your cash back and comps. Does your club add up? Graduate to the Gold Rush Players Club. It's the smart thing to do. The Gold Dust West, south on Keystone, east on 4th.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo Free Checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Make your daily commute easy with breakfast or lunch at the Tamarack Junction. Enjoy daily specials, super fast service, and South Reno's freshest morning meals. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amodei Ranch Parkway.
And now, to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
A lot of potential for our pundit panel today. We're joined by
yes.
Ray Bacon and Ray Hagar. Pleasure to have both of you here. And let's start out, first of all, with Mark Amodei's revelation that he was interviewed in the last couple of months by the FBI.
I'll just go so far as to say that I've known it was happening. It took place relatively shortly after the session. I think there were a bunch of people that have been interviewed at this stage of the game, and I agree with Mark. I think it's a healthy thing.
Is it covering all industries? Is it centering on one industry? What's your best information?
I don't think we know, and I'm pretty sure they're not going to tell us.
FBI's famous for making no comment, right, Ray?
Yes, I called them earlier, a couple months ago on this, and they said that they're not going to give me any tips on any fishing trip that I was trying to conduct. I do recall that freshman Assemblyman Chad Christensen singled out gaming lobbyists for pressuring him to change his vote, saying that they would hurt his political future. That's all that I know about it.
And that's what I hear too, is that Chad Christensen is one of the other people that they have talked to, and that is what they're looking at, is abuse by lobbyists. We had heard from Chad, they accuse gaming lobbyists. I don't know whether there's other industries involved in this also or not. And you know, when a lobbyist goes after a lobbyist, I don't think there's much of a problem. But when you go after a lawmaker on his vote, then you're talking about bribery. You're talking about the potential or the allegation of somebody's influencing one's vote. That's not allowed.
Well, I don't know if you can stretch it all the way to bribery. There was
extortion then.
Well, I'm going to stick with pressure for right now until I would know more what the FBI is up to.
Good idea. I'm with you.
But he did. Mr. Christensen did single out the gaming lobbyists, although he did not mention any lobbyists by name.
Okay, well, we'll wait to see what else comes out. But now this has surfaced publicly. It'll be interesting to see if anybody else is prepared to come forward.
Let me just put this one thing in play. I've had a discussion with one of the former federal prosecutors, and he made the comment, they will work on their own time frame and their own schedule, and they really don't care about the rest of us. So this may be a long time coming out. Don't hold your breath.
Okay, and in the same way, we've been waiting for indictments to come out down in Southern Nevada, and that hasn't happened either.
Hasn't happened yet.
Okay, let's talk about No Child Left Behind. Is it, as Scott Craigie said, a disaster so far?
Absolutely not. I just got back from a conference with the Education Leaders Council in Nashville, which is a group that was deeply involved in creating the legislation. The legislation, the principles of the thing are absolutely right. I mean, literally, if you take a look at when Ray Hagar and I were on, not Ray Hagar, Jim Hagar, sorry.
One of those Hagars.
Yeah, one of those Hagars.
I'm not related.
He talked about 27% of the current population in Washoe County schools is Hispanic. As a society, we cannot afford to leave those kids behind. In many cases, we are clearly doing that. And so consequently, we have to make changes. We have to make drastic changes, I think, in our school structures and move forward. Simultaneously, when Scott was talking about it's to bring the kids on the bottom up to everybody else. No, that's not true. It's to give the best possible educational opportunity to every child, and that means challenging the kids on the top end. So periodically, part of the whiplash is on this is the kids that are doing a wonderful job that are in gifted and talented programs. There's some of the parents are saying, but my kid's going to get drugged to the mud on this thing. That's not true.
Jump in here, Reggie. You've done a couple stories.
Yeah, this is what my problems with No Child Left Behind is that when it was passed by the federal lawmakers, it was kind of a broad stroke legislation, much like our $836 million tax package. The devil in both packages is in the details. And one thing about when you drill down to the Washoe County level, Washoe County had to cut about $6 million from their budget. But to meet all the requirements of No Child Left Behind, they're going to have to spend about $1.2 million this year. Now, some of that is federal money, but it's not going to cover everything. And here, they even have to hire more numbers crunchers and computer experts to write programs to get all this information that they're going to need to keep compiling for the federal government. And 1.2 million, you could just think what you could do with that money. You could hire more teachers, you could buy more books, you could hire music teachers. I just think it's a drain on the finances of a strapped district. And also I'm concerned about the teachers. The
teachers. 5 seconds here.
Okay. The teachers in the lower economic schools, they're worried that they will be penalized for this because their students won't perform at the same level as they do at suburban schools, maybe Collin Ranch and Roygon School. Go on the record, and it may cause an exodus of talented teachers from the lower economic schools.
And that's where we got to leave it. We'll be right back.
Big Apple Pizza, best pizza in Nevada, take one.
Today we're making homemade meatballs for a meatball parm. You like cheesesteak? I think you're like in South Philly right now. It's the best cheese ever made. Now that's how a Philly cheesesteak's supposed to look.
And here's Little Cole.
This is authentic. We'll throw some pepperoni in here. Not gonna be shy about it. I bet you guys didn't know I could do that. Don't skimp on the toppings. Authentic as it gets. Big Apple Pizza and Subs on the corner of Bering and McCarran, a New Jersey guy who knows how to make an East Coast pizza.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at D'Andrea is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South D'Andrea Parkway in Sparks.
Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Terry.
And this is Dan's Pizza and Parlor. Everything we make here is from scratch. Our fresh cut fries, homemade hamburgers made to order, fresh pizza dough made with 3 types of flour, and Terry's secret pizza sauce, and Dreyer's world-famous ice cream. And if you have a sports team, your kids can really have a great time here. Oh! Dan's Pizza and Parlor on Victorian Avenue, just down the street from Great Basin Brewery next to Pyramid Highway.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
With us Monday, when we're going to ask the question, can Sheila Leslie and Richard Perkins be replaced in office?
Because of the Hatch Act. We'll see you on Monday.